When it comes to alternative and complementary therapies, aromatherapy is at first glance probably the most easily accessible of them all. Walk into any shop selling shampoos, massage oils and bath products and you'll see the word aromatherapy liberally scattered along the shelves, describing a whole host of products, ranging from scented soaps to therapeutic air fresheners designed to aromatically harmonise every room in the house and even your car if you so desire. However, it takes a great deal more effort than a trip to your local chemist or health food shop to understand this fascinating and highly beneficial form of therapy based upon the oldest known methods for treating illness known to man. There was a time, and comparatively speaking, not so very long ago, when every household turned to its own ancient recipes for plant remedies if a member of the family fell ill. Aspirin was originally derived from the willow tree, and digitalis, used in the treatment of heart problems, came from the purple foxglove, once found in the majority of English country gardens. The opium poppy's precious morphine is to this day one of the most effective painkillers ever discovered, and anyone who suffers the discomfort of constipation will be well acquainted with the laxative qualities of dried senna pods from the cassia tree. Interestingly, it was no accident that during the late 19th century empire-building travels of the British abroad, gin and tonic developed as the most fashionable drink. The tonic water contained quinine, derived from South American tree bark, which was very effective in the treatment of malaria. And although our modern tonic water only occasionally contains quinine, it's a drug that is still extremely valuable in the care of present-day malaria patients. Now, although from ancient cavemen onwards, plants were readily consumed for their medical properties, aromatherapy is far more concerned with the external use of very specific plant extracts, better known as essential oils. As the name aromatherapy suggests, it's the smell or the aroma of these oils that is primarily of benefit to health. Until you stop and think about it, few people realise just how strongly they are affected by smells and scents. This is because the part of the brain that interprets smell also governs our emotions, and the two are most definitely linked. The smell of the sea invariably brings back happy memories of childhood holidays, and as a result, a mere breath of sea air can often instill a sense of calm and well-being. In exactly the same way, a mother's perfume, the smell of a new car, baby powder, geraniums, freshly baked bread, brewing coffee, mown grass, and Christmas pudding are just a few examples of the kinds of aromas that make us feel good in everyday life. It's therefore perfectly logical to take this principle a step further and deliberately induce the health-giving properties of such smells, which is fundamentally what the practice of aromatherapy is all about. However, you're obviously not going to find essential oils of new car or mown grass on any chemist's shelf, and when you're faced with such exotic options as ylang-ylang and bergamot, you might well wonder where on earth to begin. Despite the fact that this program will give you lots of ideas for incorporating aromatherapy into your day-to-day life, nothing is quite as effective as a consultation with a fully qualified aromatherapist to set you off on the right track. Meet Anne Topnell, a very experienced aromatherapist who helps a variety of clients with a wide range of ailments. It's through the advice of a trained therapist like Anne that you will learn how aromatherapy works on a far deeper level than smell alone. Essential oil is one of the few substances that can penetrate the skin and enter the bloodstream, which does mean that to get the best from aromatherapy, a more specialist knowledge is required. However, you don't have to be ill to consult an aromatherapist. You might just want to boost your energy levels, and there are lots of techniques that she can use to help you. In the first instance, any qualified aromatherapist will ask sufficient questions to build up a picture of your health and lifestyle. Like most alternative or complementary therapies, aromatherapy is practiced holistically, which means that it's concerned with treating the person as a whole, rather than concentrating on any given set of symptoms. Okay, so you might turn to aromatherapy looking for relief for a specific health problem, but there's an awful lot to be said for regular sessions to strengthen your own body's metabolic processes, rather than wait for something to go wrong. The old adage that prevention is always better than cure was never truer, as you are about to discover. At this point in the proceedings, it's really helpful to concisely define aromatherapy as the use of essential oils from organic plants to heal and maintain health and vitality. An essential oil is a complex mix of chemicals extracted from a specific plant. Each oil has its own range of healing qualities, and some are very well known indeed. Lavender, for example, is generally associated with sleep and unwinding at the end of a stressful day, so it's often a constituent of relaxing bath oil, but it can offer a great deal more than the answer to an insomniac's prayer. You'll perhaps be surprised at just how much even the smallest quantity of pure lavender essential oil can cost, but you need to remember that it takes in excess of 420 pounds of lavender flowers to make about 10 pints of essential oil. Some oils are even more expensive again because, for instance, the same quantity of rose flowers will only yield about 1.5 pints of essential rose oil. In fact, if you think of it in terms of 30 beautiful roses in full bloom, and we all know how much they can cost to produce every single drop of essential oil, you soon realise why the price is so high. Remember this when you start to buy essential oils, and as a general rule of thumb, if it's too cheap, then the quality is likely to reflect this. If you want the best results, get the finest essential oils possible, but you will have to pay for the privilege. Make sure that you keep your essential oils in dark-coloured, airtight bottles, because just like pure perfume, the oils are very concentrated and will evaporate very rapidly if left open to the tiniest amount of air. Also, sunlight will cause deterioration, so great care needs to be taken with storage. These oils must never be used undiluted unless professionally advised to do so. They are extremely strong and would cause stinging and, in some cases, quite severe allergic reaction if applied directly to the skin. They need to be mixed a few drops at a time with carrier oils such as grapeseed, soya or wheat germ before being massaged into the skin. Massage has actually proved to be the most effective way of using essential oils in aromatherapy. Typically, you would use up to 3 drops of essential oil to a teaspoon of carrier oil, and even less if you were dealing with very sensitive or facial skin. It's interesting to note that although these aromatherapy essences are called oils, they are not in the slightest bit oily in consistency. Because aromatherapy concentrates on the sense of smell and absorption through the skin, the massage process is doubly beneficial when essential oil is used, with the aroma released from the oils warming on the skin, enhancing the healing quality of the massage dramatically. There are lots of other ways to use aromatherapy, with one of the most popular being an aromatherapy burner. Here, a few drops of essential oil are sprinkled into the burner with water, and as the water evaporates with the gentle heat from the nightlight, the room is filled with the chosen aroma. Many people use lavender in this way to fragrance a bedroom before sleep, to help with insomnia and also disturbed, fretful sleep. You could, of course, use an aromatherapy candle, but the heat from the burner will continue to scent the bedroom for some considerable time after the nightlight has been extinguished. Remember, neither option should be left alight while you sleep, as concern over the house burning down is definitely not conducive to a peaceful night's rest. Bathing in aromatherapy oils is very easy to manage, and you do have the option of using a single essential oil or a blend. Run a warm bath, not a hot one, as the oils would evaporate too quickly, and simply sprinkle up to 5 drops of oil onto the water and then agitate thoroughly. Relax in the bath for at least 10 minutes to truly appreciate the benefits, but do avoid splashing the water in your eyes. You can bathe like this perfectly safely every day, and of course vary the oils you use according to your own specific requirements. The practice of inhalation over a bowl of boiled water was for centuries the best known treatment for stuffed up noses, colds and flu, and there are still people to this day who know nothing about aromatherapy but absolutely swear by this low-tech cure-all. Camphor, a crystalline substance that was once used for mothballs, was commonly vaporized in this way, but is definitely not advised by aromatherapists, as the fumes can be quite toxic despite clearing the airways. However, the inhalation method is very useful indeed with less strident essential oils. Eucalyptus would be a much better option for such cold-like symptoms. Use about 10 drops of your chosen oil or blend to 2 pints of boiled water. Place a towel over your head, close your eyes and inhale the vapours for as long as comfortable. This is also very good for the skin, and you can always use a facial steamer with up to 5 drops of essential oil to really get the best of both worlds. Other simple methods include putting a few drops of essential oil onto a handkerchief so you can carry it anywhere with you. Aromatherapy-based potpourri can be very useful, and leaving a saucer of water with a few drops of essential oil on top of a radiator to evaporate will create the perfect healing ambience. Also, it's now possible to buy excellent face creams, body lotions and makeup infused with essential oils, which can be very beneficial. Again, returning to the slumber-inducing lavender, a night moisturising cream containing this essential oil can help you to a good night's sleep while rejuvenating your skin. Likewise, a day cream or makeup incorporating revitalising and stimulating rosemary would be just what was needed to counteract that Monday morning feeling. At this point, you may be wondering exactly how all the ancient remedies and old wives' tales developed into the very precise skills used by aromatherapists today, and a brief foray into 20th century French history will provide the answer. As medical science developed through the latter part of the 1800s, chemistry provided many new cures, and by the 1920s the creation of synthetic drugs had certainly changed the way that illness was treated. Gradually, more traditional plant remedies were phased out, but ironically it was a French chemist, René Guettefoss, who rediscovered the precious healing qualities of plant extracts in 1937. Whilst at work in his laboratory for a perfume manufacturer, he burned his hand very badly and plunged it into the nearest available bowl of liquid. Fortunately for him, it was essential oil of lavender, and his hand healed at exceptional speed with almost no scarring. With a fine scientific mind, Guettefoss experimented with other essential oils and first used the name aromatherapy for his findings. The outbreak of the Second World War shortly after this provided further validation of the healing properties of essential oils, when a field surgeon, Dr. Valnet, another astute Frenchman, had no choice but to turn to the more traditional remedies of his ancestors. Medicine was in very short supply, and with many injured men to treat, Valnet had great success with his aromatherapy improvisations. After the war, further research backed his findings, and in France to this day, most doctors will offer aromatherapy as routine medical treatment. In Britain, the medical establishment has been less inclined to mainstream aromatherapy, and it has developed as a complementary medicine practiced by trained therapists rather than doctors. However, the number of people turning to aromatherapy is growing rapidly, and even the most sceptical of clients is convinced of the benefits once they've tried it for themselves. Well, that's quite enough history and medical debate to be going on with. It's time to return to Anne and experience the healing properties of aromatherapy in practice. Having discussed her client's needs today, Anne has prepared an appropriate blend of oils and is ready to begin. Now, Anne does have a proper massage couch, but don't worry, an ordinary bed at home on which your recipient can lie flat will do just as well. Everybody tackles massage differently, and you can certainly experiment and work out your own routines. But over the years, Anne has found that this is a very successful aromatherapy massage indeed. As a starting position, Anne has asked Alison to lie face down on the couch and is initially working on the soles of her feet and the backs of her legs. This is a wonderful relaxation technique, and more importantly, it helps Alison to become accustomed to Anne's touch. Be a great place to start a shortened massage. This is something you can do very easily for an elderly friend or relative feeling under the weather, while simply sitting with them. Using aromatherapy massage on the hands